Pennsylvania senators have been working on legislation that could cut hundreds of millions of dollars in state funding to cities that refuse to honor detain requests that come from federal immigration authorities. With us, we have Abby Meinen. Abby worked on the campaign for Martin Esquivel. She also works for the Alliance for Refugee Youth Support and Enrichment. Is also a member for United Students Against Sweatshops. Hi, Abby. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, of course.
So could you give us updates on the Martin Esquivel case?
Sure. So as you may know, Martin Esquivel Hernandez was and still is a highly respected member of the Pittsburgh Latino community. He, his wife, and their 3 children came to Pittsburgh from Mexico, fleeing violence from the drug cartels there. And he was detained last May and was held 4 months by Immigration and Customs Enforcement while the Pittsburgh community really just outpoured support for him and his family. It was a months-long fight by community organizers and activists, students, faith leaders, and a long legal battle to try and keep Martin here in the United States with his family, with his children, and with his community, and to bring him home to his community. But despite a ton of hard work by the community, and despite a lot of people raising their voices in support of this man and his family, he was deported a few weeks ago. And so he himself was deported to Mexico, but the huge community of people that rallied around him is here and continues to fight for the rights of immigrants in our city, and so that fight is still very much alive and continuing.
According to Senate staff aides, the subsidies which could be blocked by this bill totaled to $1.3 billion last year from Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and counties across the state. Now, Abby, if these kinds of cuts are implemented, do you think Pittsburgh will feel pressured to assist these deportation efforts?
I think what's really important to talk about when we talk about these bills is the fact that the work that our legislators are doing in Harrisburg really does not reflect the opinions and the passions of their constituents. We in Pittsburgh are pushing very hard to show out and come out in support of our immigrant community. There's a large, thriving immigrant community here in Pittsburgh, and that is full of students like ourselves who are here studying in universities. It's full of families like Martin Esquivel's family, and these people are really important to us. And so we are really working hard to make sure that our legislators in Harrisburg know that, and they know that any legislation like this that is passed is against the beliefs and the feelings of their constituents, because we here in Pittsburgh are very much in support of all immigrants and refugees who come to find a home here in our city.
So how do you think immigrants in other sanctuary counties, such as Washington and Butler County, how do you think they'll be affected by all these changes?
Sure. So coming out as a sanctuary county or a sanctuary city is essentially a statement that the city or the county is in support of immigrants, in all kinds of immigrants. We don't make a distinction between what people would say immigrants who have the correct documentation or the correct or the incorrect documentation. It's people who are here with families who deserve to have rights and have homes here. And so it's really important that we talk about this. It's really important that we push our community leaders to not just say that they are sanctuary cities or sanctuary counties, but really implement practices that reflect that. Implement practices that reflect the fact that these people do have rights, that they don't deserve to live in fear all the time, and that their communities really do stand behind them. Not only the people who live next door, their neighbors, their friends, but also the people who are making decisions on a city and county level stand behind them.
Now tell me about some resources that immigrants in Pittsburgh have.
Sure. So Casa San Jose is a resource center for immigrants in Pittsburgh. They provide assistance with anything from schooling to transportation to anything that immigrants may need here. There's also a large and growing coalition of people, students, faith leaders, community organizers and activists who are coming together to fight for our city to truly be a place of sanctuary for these people. And so most of that work right now is being done out of the Thomas Merton Center, and it will continue to be done in the coming months as this fight continues.
Thanks for being on the show, Abby. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.